but it always is, isn't it? Rest if you need to. Actually, Lydia's not here yet. She'll appear probably last minute. Let me check. I've sent her the invite. Okay, so quite a strong practice as always. Rest if you need to, modify them if you need to. Remember, just doing whatever feels appropriate. I just better check I've sent the link. She's normally here last minute. Bit like myself. Okay. Yeah, okay, here she is. Fab. Okay, so we'll come to seated to start. So come to cross legs. Sitting up on a block, as always, if that helps, or a blanket or anything, just to raise the level of the hips a little bit. Quite often, especially after a couple of days off, quite often at the beginning of our practice, we're a little bit more stiff, aren't we? And it also depends what we've been doing, I guess, as well. So use a block, modify, 2 blocks, whatever, and then just come into your cross legs and having the shins roughly crossed in the middle, feet roughly below the knees, and then beginning to just let go of the weight of the pelvis, let go of the weight of your legs, and then beginning to lengthen up through the crown of the head. Tiny amount, bring your head back in space, just so that you are stacking your head over your tailbone. We're getting out of that habit that we all have, or most of us have, of just always slightly leaning forward. So just coming back a little bit in space, and then relaxing the shoulders again, and then gently closing the eyes and turning your awareness in. Just give yourself permission to arrive into your practice. Just letting go of your day, of your to-do lists, of all of those things that are racing around in your mind. Just let go. And then begin to lengthen and deepen the breath. Try to really feel the sensation of the breath as you lengthen and deepen. Can you find a little bit more space with each inhale? So space around your heart center, beneath your ribs, right down to your pelvic floor as well. So right down to the base of the abdomen. Trying to let everything freely expand as you breathe in. And then using the exhales to let go of any amount more tension. Release your jaw. Relax your throat. And see if you can let the pelvis feel even heavier. Okay, when you're ready, just gently blinking the eyes open. And then on the next inhale, taking a big sweep out around and up with the arms. And then as we exhale, just let the left fingertips come down and then coming into a little side stretch over to your left. So heavy in the right sit bone and then reaching through the right fingertips. So this can feel quite intense at the start of the practice. Just gently find your edge and just slowly move into it there. So it doesn't need to be anything too extreme. Just allow your body to start to warm up. And if it feels appropriate to turn your gaze up to the ceiling and then back down, you can. You might want to explore the stretch a little bit, move a little bit there, whatever feels appropriate. See how everything feels tonight. Where those little stiff areas and tight areas are, just start to gently move into them. Okay, on our next inhale, we'll come back up and then we'll take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left hand comes behind and then inhale to lengthen up through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, gently twisting. So if you can twist from above the waist, inhale to find length. Exhale to gently twist. And again, inhale to find length. And then exhale to gently twist. Can you draw the left shoulder open a little bit more? And then turning your gaze to look over the shoulder last. Okay, on the next inhale, we'll come back forward, so bring the arms out around and up. Gaze up at the thumbs, and then exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Just place the hands onto the knees, and then inhale, bring the chest forward. So this is our upright cat-cow. And then as we exhale, chin comes to the chest, shoulder blades broad, and we rock back on the sit bones. And then inhale to come forward. Again, chest forward, upper arms back, shoulders back, and then exhale, come back. And just move through a couple of these at your own pace with your own breath. And it can be a really small movement to begin with. Just noticing how everything feels. Beginning to just gently warm up into our spine. We're going to be doing a few twists tonight. So just allowing everything to warm up nice and gently in the beginning. Okay, coming back to the central position, and then inhale, big circle out around and up with the arms. And then coming down onto the right fingertips and doing that same side stretch over to the right. So heavy into the left sit bone. And then exploring the stretch, maybe turning the gaze up or down, or trying a few positions with the head, maybe pulsing it, maybe moving a little bit there. What feels nice for you? Finding those little tight areas, those resistant areas. Okay, on our next inhale, we'll come back upright, and then left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand behind, inhale to find length, and then exhale, twisting from above the waist if you can, inhale to find length, exhale to twist, and again, inhale to find length, and then exhaling to twist. Turning your gaze last, can you open the front of that right shoulder a little bit more? And then inhaling to come back forward, we're going to switch the cross of the legs, and then another round of those upright cat-cows. So hands to the knees, inhale, chest forward, upper arms back, shoulder blades towards each other, and then exhale to come back. So we're going to just slowly beginning to move into your body, trying to just synchronize the movement with the breath. Sometimes closing the eyes helps with that, doesn't it? It just helps us to really tune into what we're feeling. And sometimes it's nice just to be at home because we really don't care what we look like. It's only me that's got to worry about that. So just another couple of those. And then coming back to upright, we'll make our way straight to all fours. And then as soon as we get to all fours, just tuck in the toes, and then lifting the knees just about 1 centimetre will warm up our core a little bit. So make sure that your wrists are below the shoulders here for a flying cat, spreading the fingers wide, tailbone tucks under and starts to scoop forward. It's as if you're trying to shorten the distance between the hip points and the lower ribs, and then maybe you'll hover your knees a little bit closer to the mat. Take another breath and then release the knees down. Take the knees a little bit further back, so we're more in a sort of supported plank pose, and then just start to draw circles into the hips there. So you can start with a small movement if that feels nice, or you can come straight into a big movement. But just try to get into the whole range of movement there. So we're warming up really into the hip joints. And then once we've gone one way with the circles, come back the other way. Again, just paying attention to what you feel, where you feel it. If you need to stop and linger in a position and just stretch out there a little bit more, then you can do that. It's your practice. You're doing whatever feels right in your body. Okay, from here, we'll find our first downward facing dog. So send the hips up and back. And just coming into your first downward facing dog, and then again moving in whatever way feels appropriate. Maybe pedaling the knees or swaying up into the shoulders. What feels nice in your body right now? Okay, making your way back to a nice neutral downward facing dog. Start to think about pressing the mat away with the hands, lifting up out of the shoulders. Can you lift the sit bones up a little bit more? Take a nice big inhale, and then as we exhale, we're going to roll it forward to a plank pose. So bring the shoulders over the wrists. Take an inhale in plank, and then as we exhale, the knees will come down, the elbows will tuck in, and we'll slowly lower, come all the way down to the front. Once you've come all the way down and tuck the toes, inhale, press into the palms, we'll come straight into a twisted cobra, so gently looking over the right shoulder, elbows squeeze in, and then exhale to come back down. Inhale to come up, Twisting to gaze over the left shoulder, just nice and gently, and then exhale to come back down. Inhale, come up to a standard cobra. Keep the elbows hugging in, roll the shoulders back. And then as we exhale, we'll find our way back into downward facing dog. And then when you get to your downward facing dog, again, move in any way that feels nice. Pedaling, swaying, still just warming up into any little tight areas of your body. Okay, on the next inhale, look forward towards the front of your mat. You can step, hop, walk, float. Just come forward, however. Take the feet about hip width once you're there. And then exhaling for a forward bend. And just letting go of the weight of the head and neck completely. Draw the shoulder blades up your back. Remember, knees can be as bent as they need to be for this. And then on the next inhale, we'll come up. So either tuck the chin or press down through the feet and then keep the arms coming. Reach them out around and up and gaze up. And then as we exhale, coming to a twist. So sending the left arm forward and reaching the right arm back. Try and keep the hips squaring forward and open out across the collarbones. Inhale, bring the arms up again. And then exhale, twisting to your left, opening out across the collarbones, reach out through the fingertips. Inhale to come forward, bring the arms up. And then as we exhale, coming into a forward bend. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Come onto your fingertips, shoulders away from the ears, chest lengthens forward as you exhale, and the knees step back to plank pose. Okay, from plank, you can come down through the knees, of course. Otherwise, you come all the way down through chaturanga. So it's up to you. Use your knees if you need to. Once you let inhale, pressing into the palms, straight into that twisted cobra. Gently gaze over the right shoulder, and then exhale to come back down. Inhale, come up, gently gazing over the left shoulder, and then exhale to come back down. Inhale to come up, standard cobra. Keep the elbows hugging in, shoulders roll back, and then as you exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog. And then again, moving in any way that you want to in downward facing dog. Find your way to neutral in downward facing dog, and then inhale, come right up onto the tiptoes, and then as you exhale, send the heels over to the right. Start to press a little bit harder into the left hand so that you feel a really nice long stretch all the way up the left hand side of the body. Can you start to breathe into the left side ribs? Try to just maintain that nice softness around the base of the neck, but really expand into the left hand side of the body with the breath. On the next inhale, come back to center, and then exhale, heels over to the left, and then you're pressing a little bit harder into that right hand. Find as much length as you can with your breath into the right side ribs. Can you maintain that nice deep fluidity with the breath? Okay, inhaling to come back to static downward facing dog, taking a nice big inhale. And a nice big exhale, reach your hips a little bit further back, and then on the next inhale, look forward, step, hop, float, or walk forward. And then once you're there, forward bend. So remember, knees about, feet rather, about hip width. Okay, we're coming to a little twist from here. So release the right hand to the outside of the left ankle or the calf. Start to bend into the right knee, and then reach the left arm up. So it should be just a nice little gentle twist. Straighten into that left leg as much as you can, and then gently pull with your right hand to help you to turn, again, from above the waist if you can. And if it's comfortable to turn your head to gaze at your thumb, then gaze at the thumb. Otherwise, just come as far of that as feels comfortable. Inhale. As we exhale, unwind, other side. So start to bend into the left knee, right hand behind, left hand even behind the right ankle, and then reaching the right arm up. Gently pulling with the left hand to help you to really turn your chest. And if it's okay with your neck, you gaze towards the thumb. Otherwise, just keeping the gaze wherever feels comfortable. Try to reach up through the right fingertips. Inhale. As we exhale, unwind. And then inhale to lift the chest, lengthen forward. Exhale to fold. Inhaling to come all the way up, tucking the chin or pressing down through the feet. Keeping the arms coming, reach up, gaze up. And then as we exhale, straight into the twist. Left arm forward, right arm back. Widen across the collarbones. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale to bring the arms up. And then exhaling for a forward bend. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhaling to find your way back to plank pose. And knees can come down straight away in plank, otherwise inhale. And then as you exhale, down through the knees or all the way down through chaturanga. It's up to you. Once you're all the way down, untuck the toes. Inhale straight into that cobra, gazing gently over the right shoulder. And then exhale to come back down. Inhale, baby cobra, gazing gently over the left shoulder, keep the elbows hugging in, and then exhale to come back down. Inhale, standard cobra, right through the middle, keep the elbows hugging in, shoulders roll back, and then as you exhale, finding your way back into your downward facing dog. And then moving in any way that you need to still. Okay, finding our way to a static downward facing dog, start to take the weight into the left hand, and then we'll take the right hand to either the back of the left calf or the back of the left ankle. So we're coming into a one-handed dog, which is really a twist. Gently pull with the right hand to help you to turn your chest and gaze under the left arm. Keep pressing that left hand into the mat so that you stay really strong there. Take another breath. And then release, bring the right hand down, start to take the weight into the right hand. Left hand comes to the back of the right ankle or calf, and then gently pulling to help you to turn and gaze under the right arm. And keep pressing that right hand into the mat so that you're lifting up as much as you can out of the wrist, out of the shoulder. Inhale. As you exhale, come back to your standard downward facing dog. Inhaling to roll it forward to plank. You can come down through the knees or through a chaturanga, come all the way down. Inhale straight into that little twisted cobra, gently gazing over the right shoulder. Exhaling to come back down. Inhale, pressing up, coming up, gazing over the left shoulder. Exhaling to come back down. Inhaling right down the middle, standard cobra, elbows in, shoulders roll back. And then as we exhale, find our way back into our downward facing dog again. From downward facing dog, inhale to look forward, step, hop, float, or walk forward. And then once you're there, forward bend. Inhaling to come up, so lifting the chin or rolling up, whatever works for you. Keep the arms coming out around and up, gaze up. Exhale, twisting to your right, left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, bring the arms up again. Exhale, twisting to your left. Inhale to bring the arms up again, and then exhale to forward bend. Okay, touching the fingertips to the mat and then coming straight up into a nice deep chair pose this time, Utkatasana. Try to draw the shoulder blades down the back, all of that stuff. I always go on and on and on in chair pose to take our minds off it. Make sure that both knees are doing the same thing. Inhale, as we exhale, come forward, abdomen to the thighs, sweep the arms back, and then inhale, come back to chair. Exhale, come forward, sweep the arms back. Inhale, back to chair. Exhale, come forward, sweep the arms back. Inhale, back to chair. Exhale, hands to heart center. Try to keep that action, sit bones to the backs of the knees. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, staying upright to twist to your left. So you're twisting from above the waist. Don't let that right knee jump forward. Extra pressure with the left hand to help you to really open the left shoulder. And then maybe you gaze over the left shoulder as well. Inhale to come back forward. Exhale, twisting over the right shoulder. Try not to let the left knee jump forward. Extra pressure with the right hand to help you to really open that shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to find your way back to plank. You can drop the knees straight away or inhale. And then as you exhale, come down through the knees all the way down through chaturanga. Inhaling for that twisted cobra. Gaze over the right shoulder. Hug the elbows in. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, come back up. Gently gaze over the left shoulder. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, cobra, straight down the center, elbows in, shoulders roll back. And then as we exhale, find our way back into downward facing dog. Okay, from here, inhale, take the weight forward and come into a plank pose. Now, some of you might well want to use your knees here, so please feel free to use the knees. But can you from there? So you might want to drop the left knee down now. Otherwise, from our plank pose, we're going to lift the right leg, adjust the position of the left hand so the wrist is below the left shoulder, and then pivot to the outside edge of the left foot. Stack the feet and then come straight into a side plank. So please feel free to use your lower knee here to support you if you need to. Keep pinning the back of the left shoulder blade into the upper back. Inhale, reach up through the right fingertips. And then as you exhale, you're going to tuck the right arm under, touch the back of the left shoulder. And then inhale, open up. Exhale, tuck under. Inhale, open up. Exhale, tuck under. Inhale, open up. And then exhale, releasing back to plank. So remember, using the knees if you need to. We'll go straight to the other side. So right knee can come down. Otherwise, you lift the left leg up, pivot to the outside of the right foot. Check the details with your right hand, and then left arm reaches up. Left hip lifts up. Try to lift everything up in your side plank. Inhale. Exhale, tuck under. Touch the back of the right shoulder. Inhale, open up. Exhale, tuck under. Inhale, open up. Exhale, tuck under. Inhaling to open up, and then exhaling to unwind. Come back to your plank pose. Inhaling plank, and then as we exhale, knees can come down or come down through chaturanga. Come all the way down. We'll just do those twisted cobras one more time. Inhale, press into the palms. Gaze over the right shoulder. Exhale to come back down. Inhale, press into the palms. Gaze over the left shoulder. Exhale to come back down. Inhale, press into the palms, straight down the center. Roll the shoulders back. And then as you exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog. We'll take 5 breaths. 1. So finding a nice static downward facing dog if you can. 2. Start to think about the outer upper arms spinning back. 3. Can you soften around the base of your neck? 4. And 5, inhaling to look forward, stepping, hopping, floating or walking forward. And then once you're there, forward bend. Inhaling to come up, rolling up or lifting the chin, keeping the arms coming out around and up, gaze up. And then exhale straight to the twist, left arm forward, right arm back, widen across your collarbones. Inhale, come forward, Angie's obviously lost connection. Exhale, twisting straight to the left. Sorry, Angie, I hope you weren't out there too long. Inhale, bring the arms forward, gaze up. And then as you exhale, forward bend. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhaling to step or jump back. From plank, you can come down through the knees or chaturanga. Inhaling for a back bend, up dog or cobra. And then exhaling back into downward facing dog. Okay, from downward facing dog, inhale, take the right leg up. As we exhale, we're going to bring the right knee towards the left tricep and squeeze. And then inhale to stretch it back. Exhale, right knee, right tricep, squeeze. Inhale to stretch it back. And then exhale, left knee, left tricep. And then can you straighten that left leg out and kind of coming into a fallen triangle here. So you can adjust the position of your right hand so that your right wrist is below the shoulder, and then open up with the left arm, and maybe you pivot onto the inside of your left foot as well. Extra challenge if you want it. Can you see if you can lift the right leg as well? Challenging our balance and our strength. Take another breath and then release the foot down. We'll unwind. We'll step back into our downward facing dog. Looks easier than it is that. Okay, on the next inhale, take the left leg up. And then exhale, left knee, right tricep, squeeze. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, left knee, left tricep, squeeze. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, left knee, right tricep. And then can you straighten the leg out to the side, come onto the outer edge of the foot, adjust the position of your left hand so the wrist is below the shoulder, and then open up with the right arm, fallen triangle. Okay, extra challenge if you want it here. Can you lift that lower leg? Keep pushing that left hand into the mat as well, so you're really lifting up away from the mat. Okay, taking another breath and then releasing, unwinding, stepping it back. You can go straight to a downward facing dog, or you can throw in a vinyasa from there if you want to. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, and then exhale back, the downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths. 1, so let your breath settle. 2, can you draw the shoulder blades up your back? 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling to look forward, stepping, hopping or floating forward. And then once you're there, forward bend. Inhaling to come up, lifting the chin or rolling up. Keep the arms coming out, around and up, gaze up. And then exhale straight into that twist. Left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale to come back up. As you exhale, forward bend. Touch your fingertips to the mat and then we'll come straight up into chair pose. Make sure that both knees do the same thing. Shoulder blades down the back, ribs in. Inhale, exhale, come forward, swing the arms back. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, come forward, swing. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, come forward, swing. Inhale, come back up to chair. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, twisting to your left. So this time we'll hook the elbow to the outside of the knee. Draw the right knee back and then press the palms together to come into a deeper twist there. Extra pressure with the left hand to help you really turn your chest. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale, straight away, twisting the other side. Left knee back, pressing the hands together, opening across the chest. Keep smiling, hopefully. Inhale, back to center. Exhale for a forward bend. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to step or jump back. So go straight to downward facing dog if you want to, or you can add in vinyasas if you want to, up to you. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back. Downward facing dog, take 5 breaths. 1, so calm your breath. 2, can you press the sit bones a little bit further back? 3, shin bones back as well. 4, and 5. Okay, inhale, take the right leg up, and then as you exhale, we'll step it forward. So just finding that runner's lunge. Adjusting your feet, make sure you're not on a tightrope, the right knee stacking over the right ankle, chest is lengthening forward. Can you let the hips sink down a little bit more and then lift the back of the left thigh up? It's like you're pressing back through that left heel as well. Okay, bring the left hand to the inside of the right foot and then we'll open up for a twist there. Fingertips up to the ceiling, widen across the collarbones. Try not to let that left hip sink, keep lifting up out of it. Back of the left thigh lifts as well. Inhale, as we exhale, unwind. Okay, reset, and then inhale to wobble our way up to present. And then sink into your front knee, outer right hip back, the left hip presses forward. Gently leaning a little bit more into that front foot to help you energize back through the left heel. Shoulder blades down the back. Okay, inhale. Exhale, send the left arm forward and bring the right arm back there as well. Try to reach away through the fingertips. Widen across the collarbones. Keep breathing and smiling. Okay, inhaling to come back up, right? Reach the arms up and then exhale, opening warrior 2 to the left. So turning the left foot out and rooting it down and then bending into the front knee, reaching into your outer left heel. Try and be heavy in your tailbone in your warrior 2. Shoulder blades down the back, shoulder blades press in. And then you're gazing over your right middle finger. Sink a little bit deeper into your warrior 2 if you can. Try to get that action as well. Top of the right thigh bone drawing back into the hip socket. And then you're sinking deeper, inner left thigh lift as well. Remember. Okay, we'll reverse this. Flip the right palm up. Inhale, reach forward and find length. And then as you exhale, up and back to reverse your warrior. Sort of feeling like a bit of a rest after that hard start. Keep lifting the inner left thigh up. Keep opening the front knee out. Can you lift up out of that right hip a little bit more as well? Maybe you turn your gaze up to the ceiling. Maybe you sink a bit deeper into the front knee. Inhaling to come back to warrior 2 and then exhaling to sink deeper, warrior 2. Big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to cartwheel the left hand down, pivot to the ball of the back foot and then come back to that twist that we were in a few minutes ago. And you can stay with the twist if you want to, or you can heel toe the foot. So you're more in a supported side plank, or you can come back to your side plank if you haven't had enough of them already tonight. Lift that right hip up. Pin the back of the left shoulder blade into the upper back as well, remember. Okay, inhale, exhale to unwind. Come back to plank. From plank, go straight to downward facing dog or come through vinyasa if you want. Up to you. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, and then exhale, step it forward. So runner's lunge. Just adjusting, give yourself a little bit of time, let the hips descend, back of the right thigh lifts, chest lengthens forward, all of that stuff. Okay, from here we'll come to the first twist, so right hand down on the inside of the left foot, and then open the left arm up, reach up through the fingertips, back of the right thigh lifts. Press down with the right hand so that you're not sinking into it, you're lifting up away from it. Inhale, as we exhale, unwind back to runner's lunge and reset before we inhale and wobble our way up for crescent. And then sinking into crescent, outer left hip back, right hip presses forward. Inhaling crescent and then exhale, right arm forward, left arm back for the twist. Try to really widen across the collarbones. Reach your way through the fingertips. Shoulders are relaxing down. Inhaling to come back through crescent and then exhale warrior two to the right. So right foot turns out, adjust, check your line up, take your time to get there, shoulder blades down the back. Remember that action of the inner right thigh lifting as the front knee opens out. And then also drawing the top of the right thigh bone back into the hip socket. Reaching into top of the left thigh bone even, sorry, I was getting rid of banners there, top of the left thigh bone into the hip socket and then reaching into that outer right heel. Okay, we'll reverse this. Flip the left palm up, inhale, reach forward, find length, and then as you exhale, reach up and back. Lift up out of the left hip. Try to make it a side bend, not a back bend, and I know I say that all the time, but it's tempting to have the chest facing forward and then we're bending into the back, not the side. Okay, inhaling to come back to warrior two and then sink deeper, warrior two. Big inhale, and then as we exhale, pivoting to the ball of the back foot, right hand comes down, come back to the twist, stay with that twist, or heel toe the left foot a bit further. Maybe you come back into side plank. Maybe you do the supported version as well if you want to. Pin the right shoulder blade into the upper back, left hip lifts up, left fingertips lift up as well. Inhale, exhale to unwind. You can go straight back to downward facing dog, or you can come through vinyasa. Up to you. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths. 1, so calm your breath. 2, think about the outer upper arms spinning back. 3. And 4. And 5. Okay, on the next inhale, we're going to roll it forward to plank pose. So again, knees up or down. Remember, modify these if you need to. From our plank, we're going to come straight down onto our elbows. And then you can either keep the forearms in a number 11 or you can interlace the fingers. And sometimes interlacing the fingers is a little bit easier. It's a little bit kinder. Now imagine that your forearms and your elbows are glued to the mat. And then inhale here. As we exhale, take the heels to the right without moving your upper body. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, heels to the left without moving the upper body. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, heels to the right without moving your upper body. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, heels to the left without moving your upper body. One more round. If you need a break, take a break. Otherwise, inhale. Exhale, heels to the right. Inhale, center, exhale, heels to the left. Inhale to come back to center. Okay, challenge for those of us who want it. You can use your knees, or you can see if you can come straight back to plank pose. From plank, inhale, and then exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog. And just let the breath settle. Feel the whole of your body in your downward facing dog, moving still in any way that you want to. Okay, taking the weight more into the left hand, we're going to pick up the right hand and reach back to take the outer left calf or ankle, and then that gentle twist gazing under your left arm. Okay, those of you that like to challenge yourselves, you can see how it might feel to lift the right leg here. And if you're like me, you'll probably fall, but maybe you'll see how it feels, and then release the right foot down, come back to downward facing dog. Take the weight into the right hand, pick up the left, reach back to your outer right calf or right ankle, and then gaze under the right arm. Gentle twist. Okay, if you want to challenge yourself here as well, you might want to see how it feels to lift the left leg, even for a moment. Whoops. And if you fall, hopefully it's okay. Come back to downward facing dog. Okay, from downward facing dog, inhale, look forward, step, hop, float, or walk forward. And then once you're there, forward bend. Inhaling to come up, rolling up or lifting the chin, pressing down through the feet. Arms keep coming, gaze up. And then exhale straight into that twist again to the right. Open out across the collarbones. Inhale, bring the arms back up. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, bring the arms back up. Exhale, forward bend. Bend into the knees when you're there, fingertips to the mat, and then inhale, Utkatasana. Make it a nice deep Utkatasana. Check that both knees are doing the same thing. Sit bones draw to the backs of the knees. Shoulder blades down the back. Inhale. Exhale, come forward and reach the arms back. Inhale, come back up. Exhale. Inhale, come back up. Exhale. Inhale, come back up. Exhale. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, sink a little bit deeper into your Utkatasana, your chair pose. Try and keep the upper arms lifted. Try and draw the shoulder blades down the back. Okay, can you rock up onto the balls of your foot for a wobbly Utkatasana? Do your best. Try and keep that action, sit bones to the backs of the knees. Okay, from here, we'll take the weight more into the left foot, come up onto the toes of the right, inhale. Exhale, stepping it back straight to a crescent lunge. And then adjusting when we get there. If you need to, outer left hip back, right hip presses forward. Inhale, exhale to twist to the left, right arm forward, left arm back. Stay with that or come deeper, bring the hands together, elbows to the outside of the knee, and then press the palms together to really help you to turn your chest. Remember to keep lifting the back of the right thigh. Extra pressure with the left hand helps you open the left shoulder. And then you can come even deeper if you want to. You might release the right fingertips to the mat, and then the left arm opens up. Try to squeeze that outer left hip in as well. Keep lifting the back of the right thigh. Fingertips reach up to the ceiling. Inhale, wherever you are. Exhale and wind, and we'll wobble our way all the way back up to crescent, and then sink deeper into our crescent. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior two to the right. So adjusting the feet, coming wider if we need to. Make sure you're lining up heel to arch. Make sure you haven't started to lean forward. All of that stuff. Okay, we'll reverse this. Left palm flips up. Inhale, reach forward, find length. Exhale, up and back. Reverse. Make it a side bend, not a back bend. Lift up out of the left hip. Inhale to come back to warrior two. Exhale to sink deeper. And then inhale to reach forward with the left arm and find length. And then bring the elbow to knee. And the right arm comes over for side angle pose. Try to make sure your chest isn't facing down in your side angle. So adjust your pelvis to the tailbones pointing to the back of the right heel, and then turn your chest. Any amount, turn your chest. You can come to the deeper variation, of course, if you want to. Okay, looking down to your left foot even, inhale, press in, come back to warrior two, and then sink deeper. Okay, we're going to pivot back to our crescent lunge now. So come back to the ball of the foot, back foot. Make it a nice deep crescent lunge. Try and be heavy in the tailbone. Shoulder blades down the back. And then on the next inhale, taking the weight into the left foot to step back to Utkatasana. And then making it a deep Utkatasana. Upper arms back. Rock back now to the balls of the feet. The thighs are burning. No, take the weight into the right foot, come up onto the toes of the left. Inhale, exhale, step back. Crescent lunge, other side. Okay, sinking deeper into your crescent lunge, outer right hip back. Softly leaning into the front foot to help you energize back a little bit more through the left heel. Okay, inhale, exhale, twisting. So left arm forward, right arm back. Outer right hip comes back as well. Make it a deeper twist if you want to. Palms together, elbows to the outside of the knee. Pushing the hands together to help you really open the right shoulder. Don't let the left hip dip, keep lifting up out of it. Aiming to get the hands towards the heart center here. Okay, if you want to come deeper again, you can release the left fingertips down and then reach the right arm up. Again, just doing whatever feels good in your body. Try to draw that right shoulder back though. You can pin the shoulder blade into the upper back, will help you. Okay, wobbling our way back up to crescent on the next inhale, and then sinking deeper into it. Inhale, exhale, opening warrior two to the left, adjust your feet. Line up heel to arch, all of that stuff, heavy in the tailbone, shoulders down. And then we'll reverse this, flip the right palm up, inhale, reach forward, find length, and then Exhale, up and back. Keep it as a side bend, not a back bend. Inner left thigh still lifting up as well. Lift up out of that right hip. Keep breathing. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Exhale, sink deeper. And then inhale, reaching forward with the right arm and then elbow to knee and the left arm over. And again, a check. Do your checks in your side angle pose. Is your chest pointing down? Can you turn? Can you get the tailbone to point to the back of the left heel? And then keep opening the front knee out. Keep lifting the inner left thigh up as well. And still breathing, hopefully. Can you find a bit more length on the right-hand side of the torso too? Okay, looking down to the right foot, inhale, pressing into coming back to warrior two and then sinking deeper into it. Now we're going to pivot to the ball of the foot, back foot. I need to come a little bit narrower to do that and then come back to our crescent lunge. Okay, just let the wobbles happen. My legs are shaking, I don't know about yours. From there we take the weight into the right foot and then inhale, step it forward back to chair. Can you be back in your wobbly chair just for a moment and come deeper? And then exhaling to release. Okay, inhale, take the arms out, around and up. Gaze up and then exhale, twisting to your right. Left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, come back forward. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, come back forward. And then exhaling for a forward bend. Inhale for a halfway lift to chest forward. Exhale to bend the knees, straight to downward facing dog or to plank, and then come down through the knees or chaturanga. Inhale for a back bend, up dog or cobra. And then exhale back, and downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths. 1, so just letting your breath settle. 2, think about those outer upper arms spinning back. 3, remember you can always take a break in child's pose as well if you want to. 4, and 5. Okay, inhale, take the right leg up. And then as you exhale, bring the knee towards the left tricep and squeeze. And then inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, right knee, right tricep, squeeze. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. And then can you straighten the leg away? Come onto the outer edge of the left foot. Adjust the position of your right hand. And then opening out for that fallen triangle again. And then really lifting up out of away from the mat here. Again, challenge yourself, see if you can maybe lift the lower leg as well. Balance and strength, all of it. And then releasing, unwinding, coming back to plank. From plank, drop the knees to come down or come all the way down through chaturanga, up to you. Once you're all the way down on your front, inhale, straight into that gentle twist, gaze over the right shoulder, elbows in. Shoulders roll back, exhale, come back down. Inhale, come up, gazing gently over the left shoulder, keep the elbows squeezed in, exhale, come back down. Inhale, come right up through the center, cobra, elbows in, shoulders roll back, and then exhale, thigh drop, inhale, stretch back, and then exhale, left knee, right tricep, and then straighten the leg away, come onto the outer edge of the foot. Adjust the position of your left hand, wrist is below the shoulder, and then we open up, fallen triangle. And if you want that extra challenge, see if you can lift the lower leg. Harder than we think. You might find it easier on one side as well, actually. Okay, inhale, exhale, unwind. Come back, straight to downward facing dog. Or drop the knees, come all the way down through chaturanga or down through the knees, and then inhale, twisted cobra, come up, gaze over your right shoulder. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, come up, gaze over the left shoulder. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, come up all the way through the center, cobra, elbows in, shoulders roll back. Exhale, come back down this time. Okay, extra challenge for those of us that want it. You can make your way to downward facing dog, however, or can you see if you can press your way all the way back up through plank and then find your way back to your downward facing dog, and then take 5 breaths. 1, calm your breath. 2, soften around the base of your neck. 3, and 4, and 5. Okay, inhale, take the right leg up again, and then as you exhale, step it forward. This time we'll set up for a warrior 1. So turn the left foot out and root it down, and then inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, and then exhale, sink into the front knee, outer right hip back, left hip forward. And we'll settle and have a little rest in our warrior 1. We never thought we'd be saying that. Shoulder blades down the back, lower ribs in, heavy in the tailbone. Palms together. If you can wrap the triceps forward as well, that will help you straighten into the arms. Can you come a little bit deeper into warrior 1? Think about the top of the right thigh bone drawing back into the hip socket. So we're never just hanging out in the pose, are we? We're finding that engagement. We're waking up the whole of our body. Okay, from here, we'll straighten into the front leg. Release the hands to the waist. Square the hips and shoulders forward. Inhale to lift the chest and find length. And then as we exhale, coming forward, gently, slowly over the right leg. Keep drawing the right hip back. Keep lengthening the chest forward. And then you can release the hands anywhere down the right leg. Maybe you can hopefully have blocks handy, or you bring the fingertips to the floor. So find a version. If this leg needs to be a bit bent, then have the knee bent. Eventually you're going to work on keeping the leg nice and straight, but for now, if it needs to be bent, have it bent. And then reach back through the outer left heel. Inhale to lift and lengthen the chest forward, and then exhale to fold over the leg, any amount. Inhale to lift and lengthen, exhale to fold. And again, inhale to lift and lengthen, and then exhale to fold. And then just relax the head and neck here. And just ease your way into a version of this you're comfortable with for a couple of breaths. Can you lift up out of that left hip though? Notice that left leg wants to go to sleep, don't let it. So keep pushing the back of the thigh back, keep lifting up out of the left hip. Okay, we're going to reverse this. So with control, if you can bring the hands back to the waist, and then inhale, come all the way back up, and then exhale, sink back into your warrior 1. Nice deep bend in the front knee, outer right hip comes back. Okay, from here, pivot to the ball of the foot, back foot. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart center. On the next inhale, take the weight into the right foot, and then bring the left knee into the chest. I haven't forgotten about doing some balancing tonight, and I'm not very balanced. Okay, bring the left knee into the chest, and then stay with that if you want to. You can hold the knee, or you could take your ankle and bring the foot to the inner thigh and come into a tree pose. So it's up to you. If you're in your tree, just give yourself a moment to settle into it, relax the shoulders. Maybe you bring the arms up, shoulder blades down the back. Wherever you are, take another breath, and then release the left foot down, come straight into an Utkatasana, straight into a chair pose. Inhale there, exhale for a forward bend, inhale for a halfway lift. And then exhale, finding your way back to downward facing dog however you want to. So through a vinyasa or not. Inhale up, dog or cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog, and then inhale the left leg up. Exhale, stepping forward. Set up for your warrior 1. Outer right heel roots down. Inhale, arms sweep forward and up, and then sink into the front knee. Outer left hip back, right hip forward. So just squaring the hips as much as you comfortably can. Lower ribs are knitting in, shoulder blades down the back. Palms come together, maybe you can wrap the triceps forward, and maybe you can gaze up there as well. So just finding your warrior 1. Think about that back of the right thigh moving back, top of the left thigh bone moving into the hip socket. Again, avoiding hanging out if we can. Okay, we'll straighten into the front leg, release the hands to the waist, square the hips and shoulders forward as much as we can. Inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, come forward over the left leg with control. Don't come that far. If it's really intense, stop. Hands can come anywhere down the leg. Maybe they come further, maybe you use blocks, maybe you need to bend into that left knee, doesn't matter. Find a variation that works for you, and then inhale to lift and lengthen the chest forward, exhale to fold. And again, inhale, lift and lengthen, exhale to fold. And again, inhale, lift and lengthen, and then exhaling to fold. Keep lifting up out of that right hip, back of the right thigh back. Relax the head and neck. And I used to find this so difficult, this pose. I'm hoping we all finding this stuff's getting easier, because it does, doesn't it? patience and practice. Okay, from there we're going to reverse it, hands to the waist, inhale, come up, and then exhale back into your warrior one. So sinking into that front knee and adjusting if you need to. A nice deep bend in the front knee. Gazing up if you can. Inhale, exhale to heart, hands to heart center, pivoting to the ball of the foot, back foot. And then on the next inhale, take the weight into the left foot and bring the right knee into the chest. And then I'll let you choose your balance here. Stay there if you want to. You can hold the knee or the shin if you want to. Or you can take your right ankle and bring the foot to the inner thigh and find your tree pose. This is normally my bad side and I'm more balanced. There you go. Different every day, isn't it? Maybe you take the arms up as well. Shoulders down. Keep sucking that outer left hip in as well, remember. Okay, taking another breath, and then from there we'll come straight to Utkatasana. So nice deep chair pose. Inhaling Utkatasana and then exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog, however you want to get there. So through vinyasa or not. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Just take 5 breaths and let your breath settle. 1, shoulder blades up your back. 2, can you press the shin bones back? 3, can you find a little bit more height with the hips as well? 4 and 5. Okay, from here we'll drop the knees and then swing the shins to one side and find our bum. Okay, and then from there bring your legs straight out in front of you. Come down onto your back however you want to. So just make sure that you're coming in a straight line. Support yourself around the shins or behind the thighs. And then once we're there, finding this L shape with the back of the legs. So we've got a 90-degree angle between the top of the thighs and the abdomen, and also between the calves and the backs of the thighs. And then let your head and shoulders come down. Start to squeeze your knees and your inner thighs towards each other. Draw the navel in, press the low back down strongly. Bring your arms out to the side in the T, and I think we all know this one. It's quite intense, so come into this to your degree. Keep squeezing the knees and inner thighs towards each other. Inhale, and then as we exhale, we'll take the knees just about halfway to the right, but you're using the back of your left shoulder as an anchor. And then you really squeeze the knees and inner thighs towards each other there to help you stay in control. And if you're feeling particularly strong, you can maybe straighten the legs or one leg or both, or see how it feels one at a time. If none of it feels good, you just come back to bent legs. Try and stay heavy in the back of the left shoulder. Make sure that you can still breathe here. You can still talk if you needed to. Some of us don't shut up. Okay, inhale, come back to center. Reset, inner thighs, knees squeeze towards each other, low back presses down. Inhale, exhale, over to the left. And again, just as far as you can still breathe and stay in control. Stay heavy in the back of the right shoulder. You can play around with one leg straight or both or neither. You regret it maybe and you come straight back. Make sure you can breathe, make sure you can still talk. And I bet you this is feeling easier for some of us than when I first did this a little while ago. Okay, inhale, come back to center, reset, squeeze everything together, low back presses down. And then on the next exhale, come back to the right, and maybe you come a bit further, but maybe you don't. Stay heavy in the back of the left shoulder. Again, legs might be straight, or one might be, or both, or neither, doesn't matter. Stay in control. Make sure you can still breathe. And no discomfort in the low back. So if it's too much for your low back, of course, just ease off. Okay, inhale back to center, reset again. And then exhale over to the left. Maybe a bit further, maybe not. Stay heavy in the back of the right shoulder. Maybe legs straighten, maybe not. Still breathing, still talking, not cursing me. Okay, and then inhale, come back to center, and then bring both knees in. Just give yourself a little squeeze, a little bit of a back massage, whatever feels nice there. Okay, releasing your feet rather, down to the mat. And then just taking them about hip width, a little bit wider if your back is sensitive. Make sure that the outside edges of your feet are parallel. And then on the next inhale, press into the feet and lift the hips and come up into a bridge pose. Okay, your version of bridge. So when you get there, you might stay just like this with your arms down by your side. You might decide you want to come deeper and you start to walk the shoulder blades in towards each other. Maybe you bring the hands together and interlace the fingers beneath you, up to you. And then you can walk the shoulder blades even more in and come onto the triceps, and then you really push the triceps down and lift the chest. But your version, remember, make sure, don't let the knees drift. Keep reaching the knees forward. Maybe you can lift the armpit chest a little bit higher here by pressing into your triceps. Maybe not. Okay, take another breath wherever we are and then slowly come down. So release and then gently roll all the way down. As you come down, try to feel your spine millimetre by millimetre. And notice if there's parts that skip as you come down. And then once you come all the way down, just completely relax for a moment and observe the sensation that you have here. Let everything just settle back down. Okay, from here we'll cross the right leg over. So just like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. And then arms back out to the side in a T again. For a deeper twist here, you can see if you can tuck the right toes behind the back of the left calf. If you've got a bad back, I wouldn't do that. You might even feel that you want to uncross the legs, so it's up to you. Just pick the hips up take them about an inch to the right. And then inhale, as we exhale, let the knees come over to the left. Again, try to use the back of the right shoulder as your anchor. If it's too intense, then uncross the legs. You can always support yourself here with these twists. Actually, you can always take a block below that right knee and give yourself a bit of extra support if you needed it. But finding a variation that you are comfortable to let go in. And just letting your breath settle. And then on the next inhale, carefully bringing the legs back up. If you've tucked the toes, just release them, re-centralize the hips, and then we'll bring both knees in there. So it's a bit of a sort of reclined cow face pose. And you can just give yourself a little squeeze and a little bit of a back massage there. And then we'll release and cross the left leg over. Again, tucking the toes maybe for a deeper twist. If you know your back is sensitive, then I wouldn't do that bit. So add on to it or not. And then arms out to the side in a T. Pick the hips up about an inch to the left. And then inhale, exhale, knees come to the right. And again, adjust it, uncross. If it's too much, adjust it. Try and be heavy in the back of the left shoulder. So it's quite an intense twist, this. You can always support below that left knee as well. You can always stick a block there, and then you're not coming as quite as deeply into it. And then maybe you gaze over the left shoulder as well. So in yoga, we often talk about twists being detoxifying. It's like we're wringing everything out, isn't it? And we have done a lot of twisting tonight. Okay, on the next inhale, coming back up nice and gently. If you've tucked the toes, just releasing them and then re-centralizing the hips and bringing the knees in. So little reclined cow face. Just moving there if you need to or if it feels good. And then releasing that, we'll uncross and then bring both knees back into the chest again. Give yourself a little squeeze. A little bit of a back massage maybe. And then wrapping the forearms around your shins. On the next inhale, bring the head and shoulders up. And try to really squeeze everything together there. So nose between the knees, shoulder blades are spreading wide. Really squeeze, make yourself into a tiny ball. Really, really squeeze everything. Take a big inhale and then exhale to release. Come all the way down into your Savasana. And then keeping the knees bent if you prefer to keep the knees bent, or taking the feet nice and wide, arms out by your side, palms up if you can. Maybe you adjust the back of the shoulders, maybe you adjust the back of the hips. Do whatever you need to do. And then start to relax. Soften your abdomen. Relax your facial muscles. Relax deeply behind your eyes. Relax the back of the tongue as well. And then just let go. Feel the weight of your body being supported by your mat. And then with each exhale, you're getting heavier. And now, just slowly beginning to bring your awareness back. Gently move fingers and toes. Taking a nice long inhale, have a stretch. Arms up overhead, maybe interlace fingers, have a full body stretch. You could bend up your knees, bring them into your chest, give yourself a hug, take a twist, anything, whatever feels nice in your body. And then when you're ready, making your way to your right hand side and finding your way back to seated when you're ready. So any seated position, cross legs or not, and then we'll bring the hands together. And just take a moment to relax your shoulders again. Soften your facial muscles. And just observing the whole of your body as sensation. Taking a nice long inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Namaste. Thank you. Well done. Hope that was okay. I hope you enjoyed it, Angie. I hope you weren't out there for too long. Have a lovely evening.
Caroline.
I'll see some of you very early and some of you not so early.
Thanks, Caroline.
See you tomorrow.
Take care.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Bye bye.